Welcome to the TEK2day podcast powered by CEO Raider. It's your host, John Mayetta. EVs, electric vehicles. We wrote an article at TEK2day several days ago entitled, "There is Only One Elon Musk." And I wrote that article for institutional investors, retail investors, because I don't think I know that people don't fully appreciate what it takes to get a startup off the ground. To do what Elon Musk did, my guess in that space, maybe 1 in 500,000, 1 in a million CEOs could have pulled off. Put valuation aside. I've been critical of Tesla's valuation. I've been critical of Tesla's corporate governance. And I'm certainly critical of the valuation of other EV companies. But if you look at what Tesla has accomplished operationally, there aren't many people that could have pulled that off. And I'm taking into consideration the folks that are bearish on Tesla's quality of vehicles, taking everything into consideration. Just getting vehicles into mass production, getting to that stage, requires a Herculean effort. It takes incredible perseverance, grit, stick-to-itiveness, as they say. And I'm willing to bet that as you look down the CEO roster, and I outlined, maybe half a dozen or so EV companies in that article, there is not another Elon Musk amongst that EV cohort. So the percentage probability for success for any of those companies, ramping up production, getting to mass adoption, I think the probability of the other companies getting there is certainly less than 1%. Whether it's Nikola with both EV and hybrid technology, or rather hydrogen technology. And we wrote a piece back in 2018. You could find it on TEK2day, do a search for hydrogen, about Toyota's vehicle. And I'm not convinced that's going to work, whether for commercial or for consumer application. People are just concerned with the safety around a hydrogen bladder. And there's not, frankly, a lot to be concerned about, but try telling that to a consumer. So I'm skeptical as to the adoption curve of hydrogen. I think there were maybe 40 power stations at the time we wrote that. There were some number in the low 30s across the United States of hydrogen power stations. So the infrastructure build, it's going to be a massive task to get hydrogen mainstream. Much more work, capital will be required to make hydrogen a mass adopted mode of transportation as compared to EV, given people's safety concerns around hydrogen. But clearly, when you look at the valuations for the EV space, investors, both retail and institutional, just assume that all you need in order to achieve success in the space is a business plan, a production facility, and the addressable market is so enormous you can't help but fail. You can't help but succeed. Right? It's just a foregone conclusion that if you mix the ingredients I just mentioned, you're going to have success on the other side. And what people forget is that it takes people to drive success. And Elon Musk's level of perseverance is unique. Right? If I was backing a startup in this space or another space, and my choices were Elon Musk or any of the other CEOs, Elon Musk would be the only one I would consider. Mark Russell at Nikola, what's his entrepreneurial experience? Where has he been the driving force to get a company over the hump? It's not in his experience. NIO, I don't know much about NIO's founder, Ben Lee. I haven't done any due diligence on Ben Lee. Steve Burns, who was the founder CEO at Lordstown Motors, ticker RIDE, also the founder of Workhorse, serial entrepreneur, but can't point to anything in his experience where he's muscled the company across the finish line. Dwayne Hughes at Workhorse, same thing. So these guys, they lack the entrepreneurial experience, and frankly, they lack the operational experience in this space. You could say Workhorses, they have delivered vehicles in the space, but they don't own their IP, much like these other companies. Whether we're talking the electric motors or the hydrogen fuel cells, none of these companies own their IP. They're partnering with other people. So if you're an investor, I don't know what you're investing in. You're not investing in intellectual property because the companies don't own the IP. You don't have an Elon Musk at the helm. So there's only one way this ends for most of these companies are going to go bankrupt. The amount of capital that is going to be required to get these companies over the hump is going to be enormous. And you need an Elon Musk because at some point investors are going to say, okay, I need more evidence than just a large TAM to continue to write checks $200 million checks, $500 million, $1 billion, $2 billion. I need more when it comes to institutional investors. They're going to want to bet on the person as much, if not more, like we do in VC land, than the company, the market opportunity, so on and so forth. So to just throw these companies in with Tesla and say, they're one and the same, the opportunity is one and the same, the probability of success is one and the same, you could not be more wrong. For those of you that think a company's success, probability of success is a function of your Excel model, and for those of you that don't consider whom the CEO is, you're making a huge mistake. So time will tell. That's all for now. See you next time.